Make a habit of embracing love. Do you want to be a better lover? Yeah, me too. Love is impossible to describe, but we are trying to make a habit of embracing it. Yesterday on February 14th, we celebrated Valentine's Day, the day of love. What is love to you? Many people have tried to describe it. Poets and musicians and writers, and each one of us has tried to describe or feel our love for another person. What is love? We want to feel it. We want to give it. We want to live in it. Well, embracing love takes many forms because there are many different kinds of love. So how do you do this? Brotherly love. How do you love your brother, your sister, your friends, your neighbors? How do you do that? It's different than you love your children. It's different than you might love a stranger. But brotherly, well, no, I guess a stranger would be brotherly love too. How do you do that? How do you show your love to people in a brotherly way, in a humanity? Parental love. How do you love your parent? How do you embrace that? I have a different relationship with my mom than I have with anyone else. We have a special connection. We look alike. We have acted alike. She's very old now and in memory care, and so I love her in a different way now than I did before, but she's still my mom, and that will never leave me. That's a special kind of love to embrace. It feels good, and it's natural to give her love. Self-love. This is something many of us are not good at. How do we love ourselves? Some people will fight against that and say, oh no, that's selfish to love yourself. But you can't love other people if you don't love yourself, because this is what will happen. If I'm loving you and let's say I don't love myself, I'm going to love you to get some approval, for example, because I need that, because I don't even feel like I'm worthy of approval. Or if I don't love myself properly, I'll do things for you out of obligation because I feel like I owe it to you to do things for you, instead of coming from a healthy place where I love myself and I'm giving to you not so that you give back to me. That would be like a contract. I love you because I want to. I love you not because I must love because I'm such a small, terrible person, but I love you because I have things to give you. So it's really important to love yourself. And that doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you love yourself more than others. It just means that you love yourself. You must love yourself. You can't give what you don't have. There's an obsessive kind of love, and love can get out of control because it is so powerful and it's so important, and we were created to do it. That's why it can get very out of the ordinary. It can get very distorted. So we don't want to embrace obsessive love. That's, again, something sick or out of balance. We have playful love. You know, sometimes it's with your children, sometimes it's with your friends or your spouse, or just with, I had a playful kind of love one time before a race, and we were all standing under a shower curtain trying to keep the rain out. It was just playful, and it was caring, and it was really nice for that person to share their shower curtain with us. There's erotic love, and in the U.S. we have really gotten this out of balance, and so we've used erotic love as the beginning point instead of the culmination of all of these other kinds of love in a committed relationship, because then the eroticism of it becomes the end goal, and then that's empty, because love is so much more than just feelings. Love is a verb. Love is a choice. Love is a decision. It's something I do not because I'm going to necessarily get something back. It's something I decide to do. Yeah. So much more than we give it credit for. So why is embracing love a good habit? Well, we're rewarded when we love. We often get love back. Not always, but even when we give, let's say I'm volunteering somewhere because it's an organization that I feel real passionate about. I'm not going to necessarily walk home with people giving me kudos or pats on the back. It might be a really actually kind of difficult time, but I will have the reward of serving in that area that I feel passionate about. It's not about getting something back, but I get rewarded from giving because that's what I decided to do. Love is a good habit because we learn from it. We learn from lost love. We can all remember our hearts getting broken, and you learn from that. People who have lost loved ones suddenly will almost always tell you, say I love you every time you see someone and you're parting ways, because you never know. That might be the last time you see them. So we can learn from our love that's lost. Maybe we didn't appreciate what we got from that person, and now they're gone and we'll never have it again. And that's when we come to this realization. So use that in your next relationship. And love is something we can get better at. In this book, The Art of Loving, not sure if that reads backwards to you or not, The Art of Loving by Eric Fromm, really, really, really good read. He talks about love as an art form. And just like a painter or a writer or a poet, you need to practice your art to get better at it. And love is the same way. It's something we can practice and get better at. It's a skill. And it also requires vulnerability. We need to be vulnerable in the space of love, and that opens us up to hurt, but it also opens us up to great, great joy. So how can we start and form this habit of embracing love? Well, first of all, figure out what love means to you, and tell the people that are around you. This is how I feel loved. This is what love means to me. Just noodle that. That's a really big thing to ponder. You might have never thought about what makes you feel loved or how you feel loved. And then find out what love is to those around you. I'll never forget the first time learning about the 5 love languages. There are some 5 kind of basic things that some people like gifts, and some people like quality time, and some people like words of encouragement, some people like touch, and I can't remember the last one. Anyways, love languages. So what makes me feel loved and how I feel loved might not be at all how my husband or friends feel loved. So it's important to find out what makes them feel loved, because you want to give love to them as that will feel loving to them, not what feels loving to me. I knew someone she was so good at sending cards, Christmas cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards. She just sent cards all the time. And when I did that love language thing, I finally figured out, oh my gosh, she's a gift person. And so that's how she feels love. So that's often how people give it, because that's how they want to receive it. So it's eye-opening to do that. We need to prioritize love and realize that this is, again, something that's not necessarily natural, but something I can learn about, I can get better at, I can become a skilled lover. I mean, we think of that in the physical sense, but we can do that mentally and emotionally too, with all those people around us. And then we need to practice it. And sometimes that's not that easy at first. If we think, I'm going to love you just like I want to be loved, but the other person wants to be loved in another way, I'm going to have to practice that, and it might be difficult for me. I heard a podcast once of a husband and wife, and she didn't care about words of encouragement, and he wanted all kinds of words of encouragement. So she set a little notification on her phone to give him words of encouragement, because it just wasn't her jam. That wasn't her natural thing. But she thought, I'm going to practice this. My phone's going to tell me when to do it. So, because that's going to show my husband love. I thought that was really cute. And finally, just be inspired by people who love well. Some people really do that well. And learn from them. Figure out what they're doing right. And try to emulate that. We can become better lovers. Yeah, it's true. So make a habit of embracing love. Be well.